Now, Tuesday on this programme means that we talk with our tech specialist, who today is Professor Kevin Curran from the Ulster University. Kevin, good to have you on. Good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon, Mark.
Kevin, this DeepSeek platform, this is a world that I understand very, very little about, but it's been called a wake-up call for American tech firms. Kevin, in the simplest terms, what is it and why is everybody talking about it?
Yeah, technology stocks have tumbled. So the giants like the Facebook owners like Meta, and especially a company called NVIDIA, that their shares have really dropped dramatically. NVIDIA's shares have dropped 17% yesterday. So basically AI, of course, is taking over the world in so many ways. Like nowadays, you can't even give out essays anymore because it's impossible almost to tell if it's a human or AI has written the essay. But there has been a lot of investment, in fact, trillions really, being put into AI. And it was seen that actually that what you needed for AI really was to invest in infrastructure and these microchips by the company called NVIDIA. And then the second bet that they all had was that the winners of artificial intelligence would be the dominant American technology companies again. So therefore, all these AI companies were getting a lot of investments. And of course, a lot of the news this week was dominated by Donald Trump saying that he was going to invest $500 billion into a Stargate project to make America the top in AI. However, a Chinese company came along and released a model called DeepSeek. And what they'd done, they'd built it with just 5 million. The model that they had released, they'd only used about £5 million or dollars actually to create this model, and they released it for free. So anyone can use it. So now you can go online and use this DeepSeek, and you can download the app. It's become the most number one downloaded app. In other words, they've undercut everything that people were believing that the Americans said. First of all, that you needed to invest billions, that the barriers of entry would be huge, that only the top companies would win in all of this. Therefore, the money poured in. But this Chinese company has upset everything by releasing a free AI model, which is on par with what we call the frontier models, the best in breed out there.
And what does it do, Kevin? If you open this thing up on your phone, what can you do with it?
You can do this with what you can do with the other ones. You can ask it to, what's the best recipe. You can point your camera at a meal and tell it to tell you what the recipe, what the ingredients are in it. You can ask it to summarize any stories. You can use it as an oracle really for knowledge and for doing things that we've seen that these incredible language models have been doing for the last year and a half really again. So it's again, you can use it to just give you answers for most things really, and it is quite powerful.
Yeah, for £4 million, I mean, it does seem amazing, as you say, when they're spending billions on sort of similar products thus far. Responding to news, Mr. Trump says that it may be a positive for America. If you can do it cheaper, you could do it for less and get the same end result. I think that's a good thing for us. Don't know, Kevin, it'll be interesting stuff. I mean, that's sort of that's where the money is these days, isn't it? All that stuff.
It is. I mean, because AI is transforming society. A lot of people are losing their jobs. Like there's animators losing their jobs. There's people in graphic design, translators as well. So it really has jobs that we thought would be secure, for many, many years have been literally taken over and removed by how powerful this the output from these language models are really. So again, that's where a lot of the investment is going into because we're at the stage where we actually have the data, the internet really, to train it upon. And also then, of course, these GPUs again from the likes of NVIDIA again, because you need a lot of these to train the models again. Millions of hours of computing time go into training these models again. But this particular model also is able to reason in real time, and you can see how it reasons as well, which has astonished a lot of people again. But a lot of the future is in artificial intelligence.
Right, Kevin, back to X, formerly known as Twitter. I mean, I know there's been something of an exodus from the platform. I'm still on it, but I'm going to leave it. It's an interesting, because I'm finding like I'm getting stuff from people that I certainly... I wake up in the morning going, what am I getting that for? That's not what I'm about. Anyway, listen, they won't take down a video that is thought to have influenced the Southport killer, Radicabana, the young guy. Now, why does this one matter, Kevin?
Especially matter is taking a lot of profile in the UK again. So again, Yvonne Cooper actually a call for this again, for social media to be more accountable, in fact. So the Australian internet regulator eSafety says that X refused to take down a video of this high-profile stabbing in Sydney. It was where this bishop, Orthodox bishop again, Mari Emanuel, was stabbed, and it seems that the video was still on X. And this was one of the videos, the extremist content that Alex Radicabana had seen. Again, of course, he's the 18-year-old who killed the young children. And again, if you search on X, apparently you can find this as well. So eSafety, of course, the Australian internet regulator, are calling out X for this again, saying that because Meta, of course, the owner of Facebook and Instagram, that they took down the material under the provisions of the Australia's Online Safety Act. So again, it raises again just that what are the powers again? What should be done to moderate social media content online or extreme social media content?
Well, it's interesting, Kevin. I mean, do you think national governments do enough? I mean, some companies have. Wasn't it one of the South American companies said no more Twitter for this country, but I think they're back on there. But I guess the only thing that they'll listen to on these platforms is like if national governments step in and say you're not doing business here. What else will they listen to if they're not going to regulate themselves?
Yeah, it's a difficult one because again, this can be seen as political by the Labour government because, of course, the content on X is not favorable because it's mostly right leaning as well. So it would be seen as a political movement again to just take down X, which probably will not happen again. Especially something like this, because I actually used to watch Mari Emanuel's videos actually again. So if you go to Google and you type in Mari Emanuel stabbing, the fifth result on the first page is from NBC in America, who shows the video again. So there's a major mainstream media site actually which showed on major TV as well. So again, it's questions again, why would they show it again? So again, the government, of course, have to, thread a fine line between, censorship and just doing what's right, actually, because, who on earth wants their children to see extreme content, really? Gotcha.
Right, digital driving licenses I see around the corner. I guess why not, Kevin? I mean, who uses their driving license anyway? And at the end of the day, it's just like a tick box thing, to get us on the road. So, what have you spotted there?
Yeah, the UK.gov have announced that people can use their UK.gov wallet really to be able to have their driver license stored on their actual phone as well. And veterans can also use it for DBS checks and blue badges and other credentials as well. So again, I will say that the DVA in Northern Ireland have said that they have no intention of rolling this out at the moment. But again, it's the first time we're kind of seeing something which is kind of a major ID that we have in the UK being rolled out digitally again, where you don't actually have to have the paper version of your driving license. Well, even though that will still be mirrored as well for the time being as well. But it's the first time we're seeing a major ID that actually will be acceptable because most of us peering into the future just expect that actually our passports as well will be like this in the future, where you don't have to carry a physical passport when we're going through security in the very near future, which is being trialled in some parts of Europe even.
Yeah, but I guess, Kevin, anytime you're asked, even nowadays, if you're registering, I mean, I was on, what was I trying to get a couple of weeks ago? It was right, and it's still the old thing, bring an electricity bill and another official documents still have a role to play on a lot of even the most modern platforms.
They do, of course, and then mostly we send them electronically. We scan them with our cameras, so we send them as well. But other countries have got these digital licenses again. So Denmark, Iceland, Norway, for instance, as well. So, and again, people are worried, of course, if these being leaked again. But the government said that there will not be a central database stored for this. That it resides on everyone's phone, and then it's protected by your biometrics again, your PIN code or your Face ID, whatever else. So,
Kevin, just finally, so Mr. Trump is saying. he sees the advantages of the first piece you were talking about today. What is it called? What were you saying the first thing was called? DeepSeek. He said he can see the advantage of that, but yet he's having a canary about TikTok, which is Chinese owned thus far. So what do you see as happening in terms of TikTok and its parent company?
Well, it seems, I mean, all he can do at the moment, TikTok was banned for one day. Again, that the outgoing administration had looked to ban TikTok. Again, but Donald Trump came in and restored it. But he's allowed 75 days to bring TikTok back into existence. And the purpose of that 75-day extension is for them to reach an agreement of selling the platform really to an American company as well. So this is a point where we're speculating whether or not, even he's only said 50%, but in other words, it has to be in American control. So people are speculating now that Microsoft maybe will be the mogul that buys it again. But other people in the past have come along and have tried to buy it again, like Oracle as well. But and even a TikTok star, Mr. Beast, is being touted around as being one of the buyers of it again. But it is valued at over 200 billion. I mean, it's an extraordinary valuation. So not everyone can come along and buy this, but but we'll know within the next 2 months what happens. But it just seems that it cannot remain in Chinese ownership, which is the major point that the US government or the powers to be don't like, because they worry about the influence it has on maybe future elections, and also to get the information it's gathering, even though, as we know, it's not gathering any more than the likes of Instagram and Facebook and others. And also as well, they don't need TikTok to gather intrusive information about anyone's population, because all of that can be bought through data brokers as well. So it was always seen as kind of a political move rather than really coming from national security. But again, if you go to China, if you go to China tomorrow and get off the plane, literally, your Dropbox won't work, your Instagram, your Facebook, all your social media, your Google, your Gmail, none of that works. All of those are blocked in China. So in some ways, why shouldn't America, do likewise for a lot of the Chinese apps as well,
Yeah. Very interesting. Kevin, glad we got you today. Thank you for that. Professor Kevin Curran there from the Ulster University with our tech slot today.